welcome back to 3 and Dad. It's me, Ashlyn, and today I'm going to be giving you a book summary about the Diary of the Wimpy Kid The Getaway. Now, this is one of my top favorite Diary of the Wimpy Kid books that I've read so far, so let's get started. So, I'm going to be telling you guys beginning to end on this book, and I'll also be telling you guys like some little details and stuff that I personally like the most in this book. So, yeah. So it all started when Greg Heffley, which is the boy, the main character. So it all started when it was summer, right? And no, it was winter. He was on winter break, and so Greg wanted to go on a vacation this summer to the place they are going to. So their mom has a huge surprise for them. And she says, we are going to be going to paradise something. I forget what it's called, but it's like paradise. It's a paradise. So they go there. Greg is like, well, what about the gifts? Are we still going to get gifts? And the mother said, no, the family vacation is your gift. The dad is like, we should leave an hour early. And the mom says, no, we'll be fine, we'll be fine. Well, they should have left an hour early, just like the dad says, because there was a lot of traffic. Once they got to the airport, they were fine and stuff like that. But they were going to take the train thing to the airport because like they couldn't park in the airport parking lot because it was packed because it was winter break and people were trying to get like to the Hawaii paradise and stuff like that. So they had to take this, but it was packed, so they had to walk 10 minutes, well, like 1 mile. And I'll show you the traffic. Look how much traffic that is. Once they got to the airport, they were perfectly fine. Now, the dad usually goes on in the business line, which was completely cleared out. Well, looks like everybody had the same idea. Later on, when they were at the back of the line for the family line, mostly everybody from the family line got under the rope and went to the business line. Now, one of the kids kept clicking the buttons on the little, like, rope things. So the line got disordered, and they were about to be the front of the line, the Heffleys, because that's their last name. So they were about to be the front of the line, but then everybody got mixed up. And guess who ended up at the front once they figured it out? The Heffleys ended up in the back again, and the person the little boy and his family who were clicking the things ended up in the front of the line. They almost missed their flight, but they didn't. So they got there, they got on their flight, and there was a little bit of turbulence while Greg was in the bathroom and stuff like that. And the dad had secretly bought a first class ticket because he only had enough money for one first class ticket. So we got a first class ticket. So everybody was like, that's not fair, that's not fair. So every once in a while they had switched out during the plane. So once they landed, they got there and they were like, wow. And the people greeted them with little hula things like the necklaces. So there's a thing in the paradise that's called the wild side and the mild side. The wild side is for like couples and families and romance, and the mild side is for like families and stuff like that, and not couples. So basically romance and craziness, basically. So once they got there, they checked in, and Mom and Dad wanted the same room they got because that's where they had their first ever anniversary, is there. Well, that's basically where they met and they had their first anniversary at. So they wanted the same room they had when they had been there when they were younger. So, of course, they couldn't get that because that was on the wild side, which you're not allowed to go to if it's a family. Plus, there was Baby, Manny, and Roderick, and Greg, and there were, oh, well, Roderick wasn't too young, but the others were. So they got to their room, and it was actually pretty big. Greg got his own room. Well, of course, he had to share it with Roderick. And there was one bathroom. Of course, Greg called it, and Roderick didn't even bother to call it. He was just sitting there. So they do that, and they thought, well, why don't we go get something to eat because, like, we're hungry. So they went to one of the closest things to the pool area, which was like a little outside house. Now, there's birds, geckos, and all that stuff. Now, they were geckos, and they were perfectly fine until 1 second they looked away, and all the birds came and just snatched their food. But the only thing the birds didn't snatch was the drink, which of course the slugs had to get in there. So let's skip through a little bit. Roderick finds a girlfriend in the teen zone. They're about to go on a glass bottom boat ride, and Roderick is kissing his new girlfriend that he met in the teen zone. And there's a such thing called a tween zone for like 12 and 13 and stuff like that. So that's where like the Greg and stuff like that goes. So that's where they were trying to get their family photo picture for their Christmas card, because Rowley had sent them a really weird card. This is what the mild side looks like, and this is what the wild side looks like. This is all romance. Let me tell you something. So Roderick had these teen friends from the teen zone, and one of his teen friends had told him that on the wild side that there's an area where you can sunbathe by the dolphin encounter, where you can sunbathe naked. But that's when it's no, they get on the banana boat ride for the picture. And they wanted to get a new picture for their thing, for their Christmas card. And of course they thought the banana boat ride would be a good choice because there was no other things. Oh, and this is what their little bedroom looked like. Right here. And they wanted, oh, and Greg couldn't sleep. A bunch of tropical birds were making a lot of noise by the side of his window, so he couldn't get any sleep. There was this whole incident with the spider. So Greg has to take a shower outside because that's where the things were. And of course he has a spider incident. He calls the little room service, and all they ask, he says, "I need your help. There's a spider in my room." And of course all the front lady desk says, "What do you want to eat? What do you want to eat?" So of course he orders eggs and bacon and stuff like that. The room service guy called Greg and said, "Your door sign said please leave unattended," because like the janitors and stuff, because the mom wanted them to clean up their own mess instead of the janitors doing it. So they did that. And room service guy came up, and he had the same problem as Greg. He could not handle that spider. So they thought they flushed it down, but I'll tell you later in the story. But here's the banana boat ride, and one of the kids from the trampoline thing jumped onto their boat, and that's what their picture ended up to be. So that's not what they wanted their picture to be. So skip forward a couple pages. There's this bar thing in the pool, and there's a monkey that got stranded on the island, as you can tell right here. I'll read you. Dad asked the bartender about the monkey, and she told us the whole story. She said the monkey used to live in a big tree on a resort with a bunch of other monkeys, and it was kind of like their leader, but then this younger monkey came along and kicked him out. So they kicked him out and stuff like that, so he became part of the bartender, and he came no, it's not really a bar, but it's like a eating at the pool thing. Swim up bar is what it's called. So they got there, and yeah. Then Manny, the little boy, turns on a kid's show and throws the remote in the pool, which I don't know why. So everyone gets mad at him and all that kinds of stuff. So then Roderick finds his new girlfriend. This is his new girlfriend right here. And they're kissing, and Greg came up to go get him for the bottom glass boat ride because he needed it for the bottom glass boat ride. They found Roderick smooching his girl. I found Roderick exactly where I expected him, and believe me, he owes me for not letting Mom get to him first, because his mom would have, got mad at him because he was kissing. So they got on a boat, and they figured out Roderick's not there. They soon realized Roderick's not there and stuff like that. They're like, "Where's Roderick?" They have to swim all the way out, and of course they say Roderick's red as a lobster. So they have to bring him back. They give him a bunch of water to rest. So then Dad goes out and buys a bunch of popsicles, and they rub it against his back. Next morning, Dad goes out and buys more popsicles. Greg gets locked in the tween zone by his coach, which I'll tell you later about this coach. He looks exactly like Roderick. So now let's get to the point. They get kicked out of the thing because they wanted to go to golf club house because the only way they could get in is if they wore fancy clothes, like, you know. So they had got a baggage switch up when they had got off the plane, and they had someone else's suitcase. Now they wore those clothes to get into the thing, and they had gotten to the thing. And the family noticed that they were wearing their clothes because the family that had the Heffleys had a bag of the families, and the family that noticed the clothes, they noticed that it was their clothes that the Heffleys were wearing. The security takes them out, they get kicked out, and they have to go to the airport to get an early day flight. Well, all the planes are booked out, so they have to go here to sleep. And of course, Roderick is still red. So now they want to have one more day at these things, so they sneak in. They sneak in, and yeah. So then they go all the way over, and now, you know how I said, like, the PE teacher and stuff like that for the tween zone? Well, you won't believe what we found. He was kissing Roderick's girlfriend, and Roderick got really mad, and the mom asked Roderick's now ex-girlfriend, to take the picture, which Roderick would not smile because it was actually his girlfriend. So they had snuck in, and the security guard took their room keys, so they couldn't pay for food anymore. So they just took this person's leftovers, stuff like that. So then the family that had recognized the clothes in the clubhouse and they got kicked out, they found them because they were trying to take a picture here for their family card thing. So they recognized them, and they told the security. They ran, and then Greg ran into the thing, and he got onto these sailboats, and he went. Now, he went into the dolphin encounter, but he thought it was a shark encounter. So, yeah, he got pretty scared. But then he realized it was a dolphin encounter, and there was a security boat. So he swam as fast as he could to the private beach where you, like I said, you suntan when you're naked. So he had brought a camera, and as you can see, it says no cameras allowed. So of course everybody chases down, not just the security guards, basically everybody from the naked thing. He hides in the bushes, and he sees a crack in the wall. Little did you, and guess who was on the other side of the wall? His family. So he goes there, and then he pulls a crack, and Roderick peeks his head over to bring him up. Now the whole wall falls down from the mild side and the wild side, and they all get joined together. Now they sneak out because the security guard is, the security guards are looking on what the craziness is going on the wild side. So it's been a few days since they've been back home, and Greg wanted to show Rowley where he went. And of course, next thing you know, he looks up, and the thing that pops up is his whole family in Spanish saying he's not allowed to go. So that's the end of my book summary. I hope you guys liked it. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye!